Alright, so on this side of the fence we have Disney trying to single-handedly ruin Star Wars for collectors and kids for the rest of our lives by making boring movies and characters that are even worse. So if you take your 7, 8-year-old son or whoever you got to the movies, take them to go see Star Wars, and they walk out of there and like, I guess it was okay. When I was a kid, I saw Star Wars, and I thought it was the most amazing thing ever. And if I show my son the old Star Wars movies, he's like, wow, that was pretty good. Now I show him the new Disney Star Wars movies, and he's like, yeah, I don't get it, Dad. I don't see it. And I'm like, what do you mean? What? That wasn't awesome? You don't want to run to the store right now? You want to run to Target and go buy a Rose action figure? You don't think that would be cool on your shelf? You don't want to run to the store and get like a Finn or a Poe or a Rey or a Jin? Nope, he sure doesn't. But he wouldn't mind running to the store and getting like a Darth Vader or a Boba Fett or a Jabba the Hutt or a Yoda. Like, God, the cast is so disposable. Like, I'm hoping that in the last movie that they kill the whole cast and they like bring Darth Vader back to life. That would probably be a pretty good movie. It can't be any worse than the movies that they're doing. And then on this side of the fence, you have Hasbro desperately trying to save it. By making that Jabba's Palace, they once again made Star Wars 3 3/4 cool and fun to collect again. That thing, everybody's worried that it wasn't going to hit it. Then when it hit it, the orders went through the roof. And as soon as you got it for $500, you could resell it, which I did, and I kept it, for $1,500. And because they made that, and because it was such a success, now you can't, like, all this old Star Wars stuff that's cool, that's not like a boring figure, like, we don't need another Luke, or like, I get it. But when you're making like the Palace play set, this thing is almost impossible to find. I was trying to get it, like Toy Shiz would text me and go, hey, it's up for sale. I would grow, by the time I got on there, sold out. Finally, one day I was looking through my email, scrolling through, it popped up, and I said, Duke, hit it, and I scored. That's how hard it is to get Star Wars 3 3/4 now when they're making the old stuff. But the movies that used to be cool, the new stuff, man, everybody, it just sits there. Like, I mean, come on, your kid's going to go to the store and go, oh, Dad, check out that Rose figure. There she is. No, it's horrible what these guys are doing to these movies. We're going to check out this playset. I haven't seen any decent reviews. I saw one guy review it, and he was like, oh, well, we're not going to review these because I'm either going to not open them or do a separate video of it. And if you're not going to put the carbonite in the playset, dude, that's a shitty video. Let's check it out. Alright, so I don't normally look at the box, but they don't normally give us a really cool vintage style box like this. When you get a box like this, it's almost like you want to keep it, but I'm not. I'm going to throw this thing in the trash. Show you the artwork on this, and the cool thing about this is that I actually have every single figure on the box because I'm a collector, and if you're a collector, you probably should have every single figure. And because they've rejuvenated and gave new life to Star Wars 3 3/4, if you look on eBay, all these things have skyrocketed in price for the guys that haven't been collecting long enough to get it. Well, now they got to bite the bullet and spend like 20 to 60 bucks for a 3 3/4 action figure, which is crazy. And I'm glad to see that, you know, that they spiked an interest back in it. So here's a box. I will recreate the scene. I just thought that would be kind of cool to do. And then here's the playset. You can move these two sidewalls, which I will do in the video. They unplug. There's no fancy magnets or anything like that. They just unplug and they go on these front ones. Now, let's just dream for a minute. Could you imagine if they sold just like a kit of generic walls, and you could be like, oh, I'll take like, and I know I've got the Star Wars space walls, so you don't have to bring that up in the video. If they just had this, like, hey, call this like number 1 and call this number 2 and make this one a little different, call it number 3. And then make like 1 through 10 and make them where they all clip together, and you could actually build your Jabba's Palace, which I did build my own Jabba's Palace because I didn't think this day would ever come. I'll show you that in the video. That's kind of going to be like the highlight of my video. If you've already seen my Jabba's Sail Barge video, you really don't need to watch that part because it's the same thing. And another thing about this is actually the same size, the same scale as my Jabba Palace. I could like cut this thing or take this thing apart, cut that palace apart, put it in there. It might be kind of cool. Well, I think it would definitely be kind of cool. I just don't know if I want to cut that thing up because it took me a long time to build it. As far as this goes, it comes with the Han Solo. It also comes with the carbonite that's on that little lever thing. I got tons of these. I really didn't need another one. Of course, it comes with it. Who else would it come with? I'm glad that it did. It comes with little cuffs that goes around his ankles. It comes with the cuffs that goes around his hands, but they don't really fit that good. The articulation on this, I guess I'll go through it. The head is on a ball. I absolutely love this. It's not like crazy over-articulated. It's a 3 3/4 figure. They give me more than what I want, so hopefully it's enough for you guys. The head is on a ball. The shoulder's on a ball. A single elbow. Dropped his handcuffs. It turns here at the forearm, which is cool. Some of them turn at the wrist, but the forearm, I think that's just about as good. As far as like, there's like a little like ab crunch swivel there on a 3 3/4 figure, man. I think that's really cool. As far as the hips go, they just go back and forth, which is good enough for me. Single knee, but look how well that's hidden. Like, it looks really good, just like the single elbow. It's not bad. As far as the ankles go, they do go back and forth. I don't really see like a pivot or anything like that, and they do turn. So that's pretty good on him. He's Han Solo. They did a good job. I think that we might have this same exact figure. I got so many of these. Like, I didn't need another one, but he came in the playset, and you got to open up that carbonite, because I got like every carbonite made. Maybe I'll pull some of those out. I'll just walk you through my collection. And that's the only one with the magnet, so you really have to get this, open it up to put that thing on the little magnet stand. Then you have reuse. He comes with 2 blasters. Let me see if I can get it so you can actually see it. Tons of detail on there. They always kill it on the weapons. There's no holster. I wish that there was. You probably didn't have it in the movie, so they didn't put one on the figure. He also comes with this gun, so you could display him double-fisted, or you could just display him with one gun. The articulation on this is a little less than the Han Solo. The head is on the ball. The shoulder is on a ball. Single elbow. Turns at the waist. A really cool ab crunch. Once again, it's totally hidden. I definitely digging that. Legs are the same as Han Solo. Single knee. Nothing on the ankles, which is cool because I think it would ruin the look of his boot. This guy is pretty cool. I guess I should have pulled out my comparison. I do have the old one. I am going to pull him out for you can show you this. I thought the old one was good until I pulled this one out and I realized that this one's actually a lot better. Now I want to take a quick look at this playset. Let me show you the little action feature on this. If you don't have this thing high enough on the, there's a look. If you take this off, that thing's actually a magnet. So you stick this thing on there. It's actually down right now. You want it as high up on that magnet as you can go. And then there's a lever back here in the back. You can pick it up. He'll like float. And then you can push it down and it like comes back down. So a little extra something. They didn't really have to do that. I think I would have rather had a light up feature like in the floor or the ceilings than that, but I guess that costs more money. Could you imagine if like the floor had like little red lights, or they painted like some fake red on there to where it looked like it was lit up? They didn't. And then it comes with the Tauntaun head, which in the one that I made, I actually cut apart a Tauntaun, put the head in there. That looks pretty good. It has the vents on the ceiling, the vents on the floors. And then it has like that yak head, which I cut up like a Minotaur's head to make because I actually think I did. I'm kind of proud of my Jabba's Palace. I'll show it to you. Some little detail here and there, and like I said, all these things they plug off. I'll probably knock the camera over or something. They plug on here. Let me plug this. Plug it on here. So now you can make it like this. Now wouldn't it be cool if they gave us extra walls so we could stick these things on here and stick 2 back here? Like that would make for like a really cool playset. Then if they sold this thing like with just generic walls to where they didn't have this, or they could do like a little scene where Jabba was, and then you could like build that little area and build this little area and clip this to that, and before you know it, you got a Jabba's Palace all of your own. I mean, I kind of hope they don't do that because I built one, but that would be cool. God, they could do so much with something like this, but they just don't. I wish that there was like a third-party company or something building like I know they do those little space walls, but some walls like this would really be interesting. So on the back side of the wall, it's hollow. You can see like metal like in there, like pipes and plumbing and whatever. Definitely cool. They didn't have to do that, but I'm glad that they did. On the back of this, you can see this is the lever that goes up and down. It's actually really stiff. You got to do it kind of slower. It'll bounce off that magnet. Then you look here. Here's like the inside of this wall. Let me do some comparisons, and then I'll show you my old. All right, so we'll start with a little comparison. First, we have the reuse here. I was thinking that I had more of these. I went through my whole collection, and I realized that I only have one, or I couldn't find the other ones. I normally, when aliens come out, I try to buy at least 2. If not 3, because, I mean, you can't have too many aliens, you can't have too many, I mean, these are cool characters, and they don't make characters like this anymore for the new movies, so you gotta buy the old ones, like, they just refuse to make a cool character. So here's the old one, here's the new one for a comparison. I actually like them both. This one, I don't know, I don't think it has any gun hands, but I don't think it has any guns for the hands, but it doesn't look like the hands could actually hold a gun. Has like that weird like suction cup at the end of the fingers. Oh, this one does too. So that's pretty cool. It's big giant hands on that. That's cool. I like this one's little belt a little bit better. The articulation on this one is better than this one. The head sculpt, I actually like them both. I like how this one has the teeth. This one doesn't. Now I have 2. I can put one in my JABBA'S Palace and one in the sail barge finally. Before I just had one in my palace. But it's nice to have 2 of these. As far as these Han Solos go, I'm not going to sit there and hold every single one of these up to the camera. That's just ridiculous. Why did they do that? Did they really think that we needed this many of these things? Like, this one and this one are like exactly the same. Same articulation, same accessories, same everything. It even comes with the same Han and carbonite. Like, the only difference between this one and that one is that this one doesn't have a magnet. Has the same stamp on the back. It's exactly the same as that one. I guess it should be the same. It kind of works. Then you have this one. It's big and wide. I actually have that Han and carbonite playset, which I highly recommend you get on eBay and pick one of those up, because that thing is truly amazing. Then you have this one that fits inside of that little playset. This is really cool because you can open up this door. You gotta push that button. Open up this door. You set this inside of there, you flip a lever, you lower Han Solo in there, it traps him in here, and then this thing is squishy, so it'll push him up against it, and then you see Han and carbonite. Really cool. Like, they just don't do stuff like that anymore. I mean, I actually did that like 2 times in my life, but it's still, the fact that they did it is cool. This one's kind of cheap. This one probably came with like the Slave one or something. It's just, it's no big deal. I might have another one in the Slave one now that I think about it. I might have 2 more of these things. Here's another one. It's no big deal. And then I do have the one where it's like turning red. That one's in my JABBA'S Palace. I'll show you that one in a second. And then these one, this is like the old one when they used to be buff. And then there's this one, which that one looks horrible. And then this one has dirt on his shirt. This is one that actually goes on the skiff. They're basically, God, it just, why do they keep making the same figures? Like, I mean, if any of you guys wanted this version of Han Solo, I'm sure you would have already had it. Look how many times they've remade this thing. Alright, let me put these back on the shelf, and then I'll pull all the characters out that actually go in this playset that are on the box. Alright, so here it is. Got it all set up just like the box. Got the Jabba the Hutt, the Bib Fortuna, the Reuse, the C-3PO, Crumb, Princess Leia, Han leaning on her, groping her, everything. You turn the carbonite around, that's how they had it in the box, so it's not like he's in there. The Garmarian Guard, I used one fuzzy one of the older ones with the plastic on there. Lando, 2 Jawas, a Boba Fett, and by far the best Star Wars action figure ever made, E-Font Man. Let's get this thing on the shelf, and then I'm going to show you my JABBA'S. Alright, so we got the Han and carbonites over here by the Slave 1, and this is that little playset that I was talking about, where you lower Han down in there and it turns into carbonite. You can lift him or lower him with one lever on this side, and then this side has this lever here to where you can flip that thing around, and then this carbonite thing right here will trap him in there, and then when you lift him out on that other lever, so you lower him in, flip the lever, raise him up, he's in carbonite. They just don't make shit that cool anymore. Like that is pretty much as cool as it gets. You come over here, you have my JABBA'S Palace. You have zombie man right here. My kid always tries to hide that in here, and he's always really easy to find. Here's my JABBA'S Palace. I've already showed you this. I'm not going to take too much time. I did a really good showing of this in my sail barge video. And this is the back wall. This is the one that's like half lit up in red. That's like my favorite one. I got E-Font Man in there. I got 3 of those. God, that thing is amazing. The Jabba over here. So this is my JABBA'S Palace. And then you come down here, you got the Rancor pit. You got the little jails. I got another Han Solo and Chewbacca inside of there. I actually took him out to do the video. But there's a Rancor down there. You come around here. This is like, we need to finish that someday. Like, kind of like the torture chamber for the droids, the Gamma guards. And there's a place that it just kind of looks weird, like when you have that, or then you have that. But I already checked it out, measured it out. Those pieces in that wall, like that back wall, if I take it apart, and if I decide to cut this wall out, it will actually fit right in there. It's the same exact height and everything. I think that'd be pretty cool. I might actually do that. But this thing, all they had to do was sell you like separate walls, like little wall packs or something. You buy them and then eventually clip them all together. And could you imagine how cool that would be? Like, you can obviously tell that I built this thing in my garage. Like, I'm not like a professional diorama guy. Then I go ahead and show you the sail barge again. I did get this little light pack. There's the battery pack. One of you guys, thank you by the way, told me, tipped me off to this. You can get this little battery pack. It comes with a string of LED lights. So if you look inside of there, it's all lit up now. Those things are $5, and it took me, I don't know, 15 minutes to put them in. You actually see the wire here. It was tucked back up in there, so I probably need to redo that. But that's what they look like. But God, look how cool that looks inside the sail barge, because you couldn't see anything in there before you put the lights in there. It's almost like you need them up on the deck too. And I knew I went and dug through my collection, and I did find my other reuse. So both action figures that come with this are just complete redos. Reuse is cool. I actually had him like way back up there on the stairs on my JABBA'S Palace that I made. And then I do have my other reuse. Let me point him out. He's right there. That's like the older version. And then this one is the same as the newer version. There it is. Thanks for watching.